Welcome back to another video. I'm doing chapter 12 of Life of Pi. And in chapter 12, you will notice that the fictional author is narrating, okay? And what he is saying here is very important. Number one, before I continue, please like, subscribe, and comment, okay? First do that before you listen to the analysis. So chapter 12, the narrator is Jan Martau, or the fictional author, because the words are in italics, okay? Obviously, we know that by now. Then, he's agitated. So why do you think Pi is agitated? So Pi is telling the story, and in telling the story, he becomes agitated. We can argue that because he is retelling the story, he is reliving those traumatic experiences. Remember, with trauma, and I think we can agree, when you have experienced a traumatic event and you speak about your experience, you relive the feeling and that experience, and that's traumatizing as well. And that is why he's agitated, because as he's telling the story, he is feeling, he's reliving that moment, okay? He's opening up, and that's traumatizing. The author is worried, okay? The author is worried that he is agitated. Now, this is my analysis, right? And you guys can disagree. He is not worried, this is my opinion. He is not worried about Pi's agitation. That's my opinion. He is concerned about Pi not completing the story. I think the author is more concerned about his own needs and self-interest in this context. He is concerned about Pi, but more concerned about his own agenda, and that is to write a novel. Because remember, he is a failed novelist, as it is mentioned in the author's note. So he's like, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. He's thinking, please don't stop, please don't stop, please don't stop, please don't stop. He's more concerned about his own self-interest. Okay? He says that Pi says that Richard Parker still preys on his mind. So what does that mean? Richard Parker preys on his mind. Richard Parker. He is still thinking about Richard Parker. Okay? He is dreaming about Richard Parker. Dreams, mostly nightmares, but nightmares filled with love for Richard Parker. Because remember, grade 12s, he spent 227 days on a lifeboat with Richard Parker. And he started to form a bond and companionship with the tiger in part 1, in story 1. Okay? So, he goes on to say, the author says, he is a sweet man and is always making vegetarian dishes. So, Pi is a vegetarian. However, when Pi was on the lifeboat with RP, he had to abandon his sense of morality. In other words, he ate fish. He drank the blood of a turtle, and he ate the flesh of a man. Fish, blood, and the flesh of a man when he was on the lifeboat. Okay? What does this imply? He is a vegetarian, but he resorted to cannibalism. What does this imply? It implies that sometimes, in order to survive, we need to go against our sense of morality. But then obviously Pi, he repented for this. Okay, so every time the author is there, he is gifted with a delicious, meal, but it's very spicy. And he's eating, and it's so spicy. Pa is making spicy food, and he's drinking a lot of yogurt, and yogurt, and yogurt, and nothing to do. It's not working. It's not working. Okay? Because the author told him, yes, I like spicy food. And that was obviously untrue. Okay? Chapter 12, very interesting, and you need to understand chapter 12 in the context of the rest of the novel. Okay? Like, subscribe, and comment. Cheers.